My name's Tom Scott. I'm a director of Imitec Limited. I'm also a professor at the University of Bristol and the head of the hot robotics facility.
So, hot robotics, could you tell me more?
Imitec is a University of Bristol spin-out company. Hot robotics is a facility within the university which uses Imitec technology as well as other robotic platforms and sensors. And what the hot robotics facility does in terms of sometimes it will do deployments over specific sites, it will use Imitec technology as part of that survey capability. These are usually problems where a human being can't solve it because the environment, for example, is too dangerous or requires work really high above the ground. So these are situations where robots are the safer alternative, and also the fact that we can control robots from quite large distances now. So it means we never have to put the person into the dangerous space, and obviously that's a much better solution.
Can you give me an example of a type of technology that you're working on now, or a type of product that you've got?
With the AARM system, which is our drone-based radiation mapping system, we're about to release the next version of that technology, version 5. And that will be able to control a multitude of different sensors, including cameras, so that we're not just recording radiation data, we're recording laser data, camera data, and we can fuse that together. And that gives us a really accurate picture of the distribution of radiation in a complex environment. But the important thing is by capturing the terrain layout, the topography with the radiation mapping, we can be very, very accurate about the location of radioactive emitters and also the strength of those emitters. So that allows us to gauge safety and risk.
And what type of industries would benefit from this type of kit?
We developed this technology straight after Fukushima because we figured after a nuclear disaster where radioactive material is spread over a large area, you need to know where the radioactivity is and where it isn't so that you can tell people where's safe and where's not. Beyond that, the nuclear industry quite quickly recognized, well, we can use this for routine survey to check that our facilities are in good order and there's not radiation coming out of facilities in unexpected ways. But then wider than that, we quite quickly established that this technology, we can use it in targeted agriculture, we can use it in the mining industry, not only for checking that existing mining sites are being safely managed with regards to sort of waste minerals, but also for prospecting for new resources. It's very capable, but also very affordable mapping technology that allows governments of developing countries to be able to ascertain their mineral wealth. And if they understand their mineral wealth, they can strike good deals, which are good for the country and good for their people, so that they don't get sold short by mining companies that might have inside information that they've gleaned themselves.
This is the DJI M350, and on it we actually have two different sensor packages. We've got a 3D scanning LiDAR system, which essentially lets us create a digital terrain and sort of 3D model of our site, and then also a radiological mapping platform that allows us to get a radiological understanding of the site. This system will allow us to essentially get a radiological map of the site that we can then overlay onto the 3D model. Precious metals, things like copper, iron, gold, are often coincident with radioactive material like uranium, thorium and potassium. We can use these radiological signatures to get an understanding of if there might be mineral veins or precious metal deposits. Drilling boreholes is currently one of the ways that we look to do sampling of sites, and that costs about £500,000 every time you want to drill anywhere.
Wow.
We've flown drones in the deserts in Dubai. We've flown them in the subtropical environments around Fukushima in Japan. We've flown them in Ukraine around the Chernobyl exclusion zone in summer and in winter. And we've also flown them in Arizona, where it can be very, very hot. But also we've flown in the mountains in Arizona at about 3,000 feet in snow.
So within the nuclear industry, within the mining industry, there are clear benefits. Are there any other industries?
Targeted agriculture is another one. So we can use it to map where the ground is dry and where the ground is wet. We can also get a gauge on what nutrients are there simply from the natural radioactivity, targeting where we need to put water on the land, where we need to put fertilizer on the land. What that means is you use less water, you use less fertilizer, overall you use less resource, which means it's more cost effective to run your farm.
So this type of drone technology, it sounds like it's a bit of a game changer.
20 years ago, or even 10 years ago, people were using helicopters and they're using aeroplanes. The alternative is the drone technology for a fraction of the price. Then you put the radiation mapping capability onto that instead of in the aeroplane. So it's a fraction of the cost to buy the capability. It's a fraction of the cost to keep it running. The key thing also is because a drone can fly low and it can fly slow, we actually have a much better sensitivity to radiation coming off the ground, which you just simply can't get from an aeroplane or a helicopter. So the technology is safer, it's cheaper, and actually, intrinsically, it's much, much better.
Professor Tom, Thank you so much for taking the time out today.